Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News for Thursday, August 11th, 2022. Stand up for your country. I don't want to be insulting. I don't do that. Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States, I don't think I've ever seen a worse presentation in my entire life. I'm not going to use a soundbite. It was ridiculous. Now, I'll set it up for you. All hell's breaking loose in the Biden administration because of the raid on the Trump compound in Palm Beach. Doesn't seem to be justified, right? They could have done this with subpoenas. They won't tell anybody what it was all about. The warrant's sealed. So there's so much pressure that Garland had to get out and make a statement, which was 2 hours late. And then when he gets out, he says nothing. Oh, I'm proud to work with everybody in the Justice Department, and oh, we always obey the law, and but I can't say anything. Then why waste the world's time? Okay, you look like an idiot. Reading the teleprompter. It was frightening. That's the Attorney General of the United States? That's the guy in charge of law enforcement here? He looked more befuddled than Biden. They should have let Biden do it. If Biden even knows about it. That was embarrassing. Okay? Now, this is a huge story. Everybody knows it's a huge story, but you don't know why unless you're following us here on the No Spin News. It's two reasons, and only two. It's very simple. If Trump did something heinous or felonious, then Trump is through politically. If he did it. If he didn't do it, and it's another bogus Russian collusion, impeachment, all of that, then Biden's finished. Because Biden's the boss. Garland works for Biden. And you don't raid a former president's residence unless you have something ultra serious. Not a document that doesn't mean anything. Right? Now, I have a guest tonight who was there. And she will be coming up right after this memo. She was there. She saw everything. Okay, I told you yesterday, I'm reporting this story now. I'm not analyzing it based on other people's reporting. I'm reporting it. And then I'll analyze based on what I find out. And I will find out. And I will not spin it. Trump did something wrong, I'll tell you. If this is bogus, I'll tell you. And I will find out. You want to watch the networks and the cables, you go ahead. But they won't find out. Because they're heavily dependent on other people. I'm not. As you know, I'm probably of the best sources in Trump land that anybody has. So, Merrick Garland was ordered today by the Biden people inside the White House to get his butt out there and read a statement that said absolutely nothing. And that's what he did. And he looked scared. He looked scared. He didn't look like some macho guy in control of what was happening. I don't know what happened. I don't know what they were looking for. I don't know what the warrant says. I don't know who the informer was that signed the affidavit because a judge would not have granted it, and it came out of a grand jury testimony, which is secret, so we don't know what the allegation is. What we do know is that could have been done differently. It didn't have to be this humiliation because the United States looks horrible, horrible. All over the world, Putin's laughing, Xi's laughing at us. Look at this. This could never happen here. You're damn well right it wouldn't happen there. So I never had any respect for Merrick Garland anyway. I know who he is. All right, but now he's an embarrassment. That was embarrassing today, what he did. If you haven't seen it, you can see it on any website. I'm so proud. Oh, knock it off. Will you? Give us a little bit of why you did what you did. Because we all know you didn't have to do it that way. And that's the memo. All right. So the guest tonight is a woman named Lindsey Halligan. She is Donald Trump's personal attorney based in Florida. She was on the scene when the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago. I talked with her a few hours ago. Does inflation and the looming prospect of recession have you worried about your savings? Endowments, pension funds, and the ultra-wealthy have been quietly investing in farmland for decades, and it's paying off for them. Farmland returns have averaged 11% per year for the last 30 years, even despite the dot-com crash, Great Recession, and COVID-19. When inflation goes up, so too does farmland value. Until recently, farmland investments have mostly been accessible only to institutions and elites. Acre Trader breaks this barrier. Acre Trader makes it easy to invest in thoroughly reviewed farm offerings, quickly and securely. Their team of agriculture experts does all the work while you collect passive income from your farmland investment. So put your money in a time-tested asset by visiting acretrader.com, or you can call 888-958-1470 and tell them O'Reilly sent you. That's acretrader.com. Ms. Halligan, I want you to do step-by-step with me and put the listener and the viewer right there at Mar-a-Lago. When was the first time that you knew the FBI was raiding the property?
Hi, Mr. O'Reilly. I was called at around 10:30 a.m. on Monday, and I live in Fort Lauderdale, so I drove up to Mar-a-Lago, which is about a 30-minute drive north.
Who called you?
One of President Trump's senior advisors.
You then went to the property, and you arrived at about 11:15 in the morning. Is that pretty much it?
Yes.
What did you see when you drove your automobile onto the property? And by the way, you had to be waved in by Secret Service, which they did because you're Donald Trump's lawyer. And you drive into the property. What did you see?
Yes, so I was allowed to drive around to where they were investigating. When I drove around to the back of the property, I saw about 10 to 15 cars, including a giant Ryder truck. And I parked my car right behind the Ryder truck. And when I got out of my car, I saw anywhere from 30 to 40 FBI agents walking in and out of the property. There could have been more. I wasn't allowed inside.
Okay. And then what did you do?
So I went up to the door to the ballroom of the property, and I was immediately met outside by an FBI agent, and he didn't identify himself, but he told me I wasn't allowed in the property. And I asked if I could be in the property even where they weren't searching, and they said no, that I had to sit outside and wait for them to be done.
Okay, so you wanted to go in. They denied you entry. You identified yourself, of course, as Donald Trump's attorney.
Of course.
And I understand you taped all this on your phone, the interaction between you and the FBI agents, correct?
I was told not to videotape my conversations with them, but I did have my video camera out, yes.
Okay, so I can assume you have at least a partial Q&A, let's put it that way, between you and the FBI. Now, our advisor is Brett Tallman, U.S. Attorney in Utah. He says there is no legal basis to deny anyone, particularly an attorney like yourself, access to a warrant search unless such a person was interfering with the ability of the agents to search. You certainly weren't doing that, were you?
Definitely not. And also another reason would be the safety of the agents. I know that right before they executed their search warrant, they requested that the video surveillance be turned off, and no credible reason was given for that. So the video surveillance did stay on, I believe, throughout there.
Well, I'm going to assume that the video that you have will be out sooner or later, and we'll be able to hear it. Now, did you see the warrant itself?
I have seen the warrant, yes.
When did you see it?
I saw it that day, Monday.
All right. Did you see the whole thing?
I just saw the document request. I know the warrant is under seal, the affidavit is under seal, and the judge just yesterday, I believe, gave the Department of Justice until August 15th to make a determination as to whether it will be unsealed or not.
But you didn't see the name of the whistleblower who alleged that President Trump kept documents he should have kept. You didn't see that?
No, and I don't know if that's verifiable at all.
No, it hasn't been verified, but it has to be there. That's why they're sealing it, because they don't want whoever dropped the dime on Donald Trump to be known to the public. Anyway, so then you are outside Mar-a-Lago. They are inside. The FBI agents, how many were inside? Do you know approximately how many?
So many people walked in and out of the property to their cars. Some drove off, some came back, some new people.
They're all over the place.
Yes,
was there one guy in charge? Was there one FBI agent in charge telling everybody where to go and what to do?
There were a handful of agents in suits, and I assume that they were in charge. The rest were in cargo pants.
I'd love to know who that was. And the Secret Service at that time, and you know those agents because you go to Mar-a-Lago a lot. What were they doing?
They were just making sure that everything. I actually the only Secret Service I saw that was actually near the property. He was just observing what was going on.
They have to step aside when there's a warrant. The Secret Service have to step aside and let the warrant be executed. Now, did you see FBI agents remove anything? Did they come out of the house with boxes, or what did you see?
I didn't see that. I saw them carry in some foldable cardboard boxes. I didn't see them bring anything out of the property other than they came in with their backpacks and stuff like that. But the most I ever saw them bring in and out of the property were ice cold waters that they were supplying themselves with.
Okay. How long approximately were they inside the house?
They left around 6:30 p.m. So
that's a long time. So you're talking about 8 hours because they were there when you showed up. That's a long time. They were there. Yeah. So what did you do for 8 hours? Did you hang around?
I sat outside in the 95-degree weather.
You sat outside the whole time?
I left around 5 o'clock.
Okay. Did any of the FBI engage you in conversation, say anything to you or anything like that?
Only when I asked them for updates, and the only update I got was that they were searching 3 areas of the property, which they described in no particular order: the president's bedroom, office, and storage room.
Now, I understand you were with another Trump attorney, Christina Bob.
Yes.
Bob. Okay. Did she say anything to the FBI people? Because the question I have is, if they denied you and the other attorney observation, whereby you couldn't watch what they were doing inside, again, according to Brett Tomlin, they have no legal basis for doing that. Do you know of any legal basis that they would deny 2 certified attorneys for the person whose house is being searched observational access? Do you know of any law that says they can do that?
Only if they were concerned about the safety of the agents.
Well, come on. I mean, I'm looking at you right now. You don't look like Ma Barker. I mean, you didn't have a weapon on you, did you? I mean,
no.
Were you hitting anyone or yelling at them?
Definitely not, no.
Okay, so this is what, and I must say, police across the board do this. Get out of here, let us do our job. It's not just this. But legally, I don't see how they could bar you. Was that ever a topic of conversation between you and the other lawyer and then the Trump organization?
It was. We advised everyone that we were not allowed to see what they were doing or go inside the property at all. But it's the same issue happened with the surveillance cameras. It's just very suspect. I mean, before they searched, they wanted all cameras turned off, and then they didn't let any counsel go inside the property or observe what they were doing. So God knows what they're doing.
You can absolutely lodge a complaint against them for that. Did you talk to President Trump during this ordeal?
Sure.
Can you tell us what that was about?
Well, he was shocked, and he didn't understand why his attorneys weren't allowed to go inside, and he expressed extreme concern for this happening to Americans across the United States. If this can happen to a former president, God knows what they can do to just me or you.
Would it be safe to say he was upset?
He was very upset, yeah, and surprised.
And he was caught by surprise, although he did know before the actual raid. How long before the raid did he know it was going to take place?
He knew when they were already on the property. I don't know exactly when he was notified, but he was notified before I was.
Okay. But it wasn't the night before. You didn't have any prep time or anything like that. They just kind of showed up.
Correct.
In general, were the FBI respectful to you, Lindsey Halligan?
Yes, they were.
Okay, so they weren't abusive. They didn't yell at you or push you around.
No.
So let's get into then advancing this story. So this happened, okay? As far as you know, and the Trump organization knows, is there any questionable material that you guys have been discussing on how to frame if the Justice Department says, hey, we found this? Are those conversations underway?
No, I don't think that's a topic of conversation. There's nothing that they could have found. Nothing
has been brought to your attention that could be a deficit for Donald Trump at this point?
Nope. And the lack of transparency on the Department of Justice side is really telling. Absolutely. We don't know much more than the public does, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, we're going to get to that in a minute. Now, there were surveillance cameras on the property. I understand they were not in the residence, the Trump residence, where Melania and the president and their son live. But there were cameras all over the place on the property. What happened to that video?
I believe the video surveillance kept rolling during their investigation, but from my understanding, any sort of video surveillance that the Department of Justice wanted before Monday was complied with. So it was handed over.
Okay. But you don't know whether they have all of that video. Does the Trump organization have video of, inside the property while the search was underway? Do you know that?
I don't know for sure.
Okay, because that would be an important component if there's any. Look, Americans are such, Lindsey, I mean, they're planting stuff. The accusations are crazy. The whole thing's out of control now. And it's the government's fault it's out of control because they haven't explained, as you just pointed out, anything. We don't know what they were looking for. We don't know why they did this. We don't know why they didn't go the subpoena process. So you were involved in the June conversations too, right?
I wasn't, but I was briefed on them. No.
So you didn't come on board until after that. What was the briefing you were given about the initial request from the Department of Justice to the Trump organization in Mar-a-Lago?
That Trump's primary attorney on the file, who's not located in Florida, and the Department of Justice knew that he wasn't going to be here when they executed the search warrant, but he himself went through every single document in the office, in the storage room, and handed over whatever he thought would be responsive to the document request. Then the Department of Justice requested that a padlock be put on the storage unit, and Trump made sure that happened. And then they broke through that padlock on Monday.
Okay. Now, there is a statement from Donald Trump today speculating that someone inside his organization has betrayed him, Has that been a topic of conversation between you and the Trump organization?
We don't have any information on that. I don't know if that's, I can't comment on that. We don't have any information one way or another.
Okay. So you're not involved in any conversations trying to find out whose name is on that warrant as accusing President Trump of whatever he's accused of?
I'm not privy to those conversations. No.
Okay. Last question, and we really appreciate you being patient with me, but I think the story is so important that I want to put all of my viewers and listeners where you were, right on the property in Mar-a-Lago. I want them to know exactly what happened. So as an attorney and an American citizen, all right, were you upset about what happened on Monday?
Yes, of course. It's scary, honestly. This has never happened before to a former president, and it's just a slippery slope. I mean, if this is the protocol moving forward, it's a scary day in America.
Do you know what the next step is on your side? What the Trump organization and the president himself are going to do, say, next week? Is there anything coming? Can you give us a preview?
Well, we're in the dark, just like the American public is. We're really relying on the Department of Justice to speak out about this. I know I said earlier that the judge gave the Department of Justice until August 15th to determine whether they want to unseal the warrant, but we don't have the affidavit. We don't really know what they took from the property. We're in the dark, and it would be great. It would be great if they shed some light on this.
Well, Monday is the day, and I can't imagine that judge keeping that warrant sealed unless there's a pretty damn good reason. Because
right, there's also been motions requesting that the judge himself unseal the warrant.
Right. Okay, Ms. Halligan, I hope you will come back. You were very, very good at describing everything that happened, and I believe you 100%. And again, it was very nice of you. I know how busy you guys are down there to help us out.
Yeah, of course. My pleasure.
If you are stuck in a timeshare and you haven't called Lone Star Transfer yet, what are you waiting for? Lone Star Transfer has helped more than 16,000 happy customers. They are family owned, have a 99% success rate. Their process is done legally, ethically, and quickly. I mean, does it get better than that? The team at Lone Star Transfer will keep you informed every step of the way until you are legally and permanently released from your timeshare. So don't pay another penny for a timeshare you don't use. Get peace of mind today with Lone Star Transfer. They guarantee the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. Give Lone Star Transfer a call for a free no-obligation consultation. 855-551-7066, 855-551-7066, or online at lonestartransfer.com. So, final thought of the day, dogs in the car. Holly, the terror dog, is good in the car, okay? And she knows if she's good, she'll get a snack at the end of the rainbow. She's not in the car there, but she's very good. Now, researchers out of the University of Glasgow in Scotland have done a study, if you can believe this, about bad dogs in the car. And they say if your dog is misbehaving in your car, you should play music. And music will calm down the dogs, but very specific music. Here are the 10 songs that calm down the dogs in the car. Number 1, How Deep Is Your Love, Bee Gees, off the Saturday Night Fever track. 2, No Woman, No Cry, Bob Marley, a reggae tune. 3, Bryan Adams, I'll Do It For You. 4, Foreigner, I Want to Know What Love Is. 5, Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. 1 and 10, UB40. Hounds of Love, Kate Bush. Desperado, Eagles. Many Rivers to Cross, Jimmy Cliff, another reggae. And Love is King, Sade. Love Sade. One of my favorites. I don't know why she doesn't tour. I heard she's got stage fright, but the best. Anyway, so if your dog is woofing it up in the car, get one of those songs. Holly gets songs. Holly gets a lot of Beach Boys in the car in the summer. All right? 2 girls for every guy. She goes, echo 2 corgis for... Anyway, Jan and Dee. Okay, that is the No Spin News. New column on Sunday noon, BillO'Reilly.com. Check out Killing the Killers. Thank you for watching and listening. We'll see you on Monday. Inflation at its highest level in 40 years. Interest rates skyrocketing. We all know that. Market experts like Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, not only predict a recession, but are using scary terms like economic hurricane and unprecedented. So, you need to call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Please call them today, and they will have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. They have thousands of satisfied customers, are the highest rated firm in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. Please call 866-501-5201, 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Again, 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532.
Bill O'Reilly is back on TV and only on The First. No Spin News, every weeknight at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on The First.